Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let's spend a few minutes talking about my boy, Yonko Kaido, Mr. Warorororo. Why? Because right now, the latest chapters, the raid on Onigashima is upon us. Like, it is happening. It is going down. Monkey D, Luffy, Trafalgar D, Waterlaw, and Eustace, Captain Kidd, and their crews are approaching Onigashima. Not only that, but in this chapter of One Piece, Denjiro and the allied forces have arrived as well. Hyogoro and the Mafia guys, the lads over in the prisoner Ratsetsu district, everyone is there. 5,400 lads strong are approaching Onigashima. Now, we're still waiting on like Neko and Marco and Jinbei and potentially the Stride Grand Fleet and so on. So a lot of folks are still going to arrive at some point. However, I've been saying before, time and time again, and it looks like my notion, my theory was confirmed in the latest chapters. The narrator states that if everything went according to plan, everything would have been fine, quote unquote fine. But we do see that my man, and I'm gonna say my man because that was a beastly twist, Kanjiro does have Momo in a headlock right now. So Momo's not going anywhere. But there's also the fact that Kaido and Big Mom, whether it's Kid, whether it's Luffy, whether it's Law, whether it's Denjiro, there is no one on the allied forces that I would say seems to have the ability to take on either Kaido or Big Mom one-on-one. Now, I'm of the mindset that at some point, Big Mom will leave. Because in my mind, and for another video, of course, Big Mom ends off the Yonko saga on Elbaf. Another core reason as to why they will fail is because Kaido is going to be essentially unkillable. It has been noted time and time again that Kaido is somewhat immortal in some capacity. And this video is trying to answer that question in some ways, because this is Kaido's immortality we're talking about. But Luffy, Kid, and Law are gonna have a hard time dealing with Kaido because Kaido is just gonna take virtually zero damage. But for me, right now, the main player to defeating Kaido is not Kid, is not Luffy, it is Law. I am looking at Trafalgar D Waterlaw. A lot of folks understand my take on this, where I believe earnestly that Law is going to pass away at some point during this arc. Whether it's sooner or later, at some point Law pass away. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and we'll find out at the end of Wano Country. But for the time being, I'm still of the mindset that Law passed away because Kaido is somewhat special in the reason why he took virtually no damage from Luffy when Luffy assaulted him. And also, my whole notion of Kaido being immortal did waver a bit during the Chaden flashback. Because the Chaden flashback, of course, Chaden is able to actually cut Kaido. He cuts his underbelly. And that's his scar that we see today. So he was damaged. However, that was 20 years in the past. So let me go through it piece by piece, step by step, and first go over the things that point to Kaido's immortality, if you would. Now, when he was first introduced, it starts off with the guy literally looking for a place to die. And he jumps off a sky island, 10 kilometers, to try and kill himself. And then when he finally does land, he hurts his head a bit, but he's relatively fine. And then you have the narrator go on about how, okay, well, he was defeated 7 times as a pirate. He was captured 18 times, was even tortured repeatedly, and sentenced to death 40 times. But no one could kill him. No one could take down Kaido. And it's noted that he was also captured by Yonko. And you would assume, or let's say it's a safe assumption, that higher tier Marines like Garp or Sengoku, Akainu, Aokiji, and so on, they also had Kaido in their midst. And yet, no one could kill Kaido. So that's the first thing. He's introduced as something that's like unkillable. Next was him actually against Luffy. So Luffy in both Gear 3 and in Gear 4, he attacks Kaido in dragon form and in base form. And yet, Kaido takes virtually no damage. He's just there kind of chilling. And unlike Big Mom, where she has a really tough hide, and you can't penetrate that hide, the blows of Luffy were sinking into Kaido, like flesh on flesh, just sinking, pulverizing, but no blood, no shocked faces, and he was drunk the entire time. And what's very important to know here is that Luffy assumes that by learning this new form of Haki, he can then bypass the scales. However, there are no scales when he is in human form. Now, some folks want to say that, well, he has scales under his skin, but understand, that is a property that has never, ever been shown before when it comes to Zoans, let alone the mystic or mythical Zoans. Case in point, Marco and Kizaru. When Marco freaked out about Whitebeard having the heart attack, he ran towards Whitebeard. Kizaru deads him with 2 lasers, and then Marco is briefly stopped. Then he has to reactivate his flames in order to heal from those wounds. Kaido, when he's in human form, as far as we know, is not using his powers. As far as we know, he's a Zoan user. Unless he's actually a dragon, like an actual natural-born mythical dragon, and therefore has unique properties from the jump, I don't see how he'd have scales underneath his skin. It doesn't make much sense. Again, his powers aren't activated. I would say, with confidence, at this point in time, that was just raw skin. Kaido's natural body, when Luffy was in Gear 4, did the Kong Organ, and then Amy did the King Kong gun, and Kaido was relatively fine. Now, in the Oden flashback, 20 years ago, Kaido was on the losing side of that. In Oden's final charge, which was quote-unquote gonna be like the kill shot, he doesn't say I'm gonna kill you, or in that sword he says never come back to Wano, and that is the official Viz translation. And beforehand, Kaido's henchmen were flabbergasted. They were shocked when Kaido got cut, and then his henchmen do note, oh my god, the invincible Kaido got a blow landed on him. So Kaido's durability, his defense, his immortality, whatever, seems to be so in effect 20 years ago. But it may be different now than back then. And then finally, outside the canon story itself, when it comes to the One Piece Ace novel, which obviously we're gonna read when it comes out, in May. There are some folks that have translated it though, on Reddit, on Twitter, and so on. And it is noted through these translations that Kaido wouldn't die even if you try to kill him, quote unquote, because of his apparent, quote unquote, apparent immortality. So it's even noted in the Ace novel that Kaido is somewhat immortal, but we'll go through that in full detail when it comes out officially in May. Based on all this, let's go back, first of all, 20 years ago. I would say that something did happen in that 20-year time span from Oden versus Kaido to himself now. Because Kaido, his mindset has changed somewhat, where we don't see this whole I want to die mentality, this whole suicide mentality from Kaido 20 years ago. But we do see it now, where, again, the first thing we see in real time is that he wants to kill himself, and he's a heavy drinker. But we don't see the excessive drinking in the past at all. No giant sake gorge and he's drinking excessively, none of that. Also, back 20 years ago in the past, again, they do note to him being somewhat like invincible, and how, again, the henchmen were really shocked that Kaido got cut. However, it was just due to probably the scales and his natural body strength 20 years ago. So when Oden cut the underbelly, that was all due to Oden's strength overcoming Kaido's natural strength and natural body's defenses. So it is very possible that this still applies to this day. Despite, again, the torture and being captured so many times by other Yonko and so on, then this could be because his natural body and his defenses have become too strong. Now he's too powerful. So over time, after training and after doing so on and so forth, his natural body and his scales became so durable that nothing could bypass his natural armor, whether it's Haki, Devil Fruit, and so on. And mind you, let's say that Whitebeard himself did play a role in capturing Kaido and, let's say, torturing, trying to kill Kaido. Whitebeard, his abilities naturally bypass defense. I mean, the guy is literally internal organ shockwave based, and yet, still, Kaido did not die. And Kaido and Whitebeard do have a history where he even stated, oh my god, like even that old man Whitebeard couldn't die when Kaido was first introduced in the story. So in the flashback, Oden did say, get stronger, And Kaido did get stronger. And also, it was noted by Sengoku that from the Rock's prior era, Kaido and Big Mom have gotten only stronger. And maybe now, he's so strong. His scales are so tough. His natural body is so tough that nothing can really hurt him at this point in time. Now, the next thing is he seems to age like a normal person would. In his current day, he has like wrinkles on the side of his face, somewhat. But in the flashback 20 years ago, we didn't see any of those like wrinkles or like any of those marks on his face. So his apparent immortality does not seem to be age related, where he does seem to age naturally, and let's say over the course of time, he would die of old age eventually. Now the next point is that there could be a sort of numbness to Kaido, where he does feel pain, but maybe it's not enough pain, you know? Where, again, you have to kind of question the guy's current mindset of why did you want to kill him in the first place? And he drinks so much. And it could be because, in some way, it's a spin on the whole drowning out your sorrows with alcohol, where in this case, he's trying to feel some of the alcohol. In the anime, before he first transforms into a dragon, he states that life is a pain in the ass, quote unquote. Life is a pain in the ass. So something about life right now just pisses off the high heaven, and he just can't stand it. And so he drinks excessively to drown that out, but also could be to try and feel something in some way, because he's numb in some respects. This, of course, is the mental aspect of Kaido, and that could be a sign in some way of his current physical aspect as well. However, if he is numb in some capacity, that does make him unkillable, because remember, Oars Luffy was numb to pain because he was a zombie and Thriller Bark, but he still took damage and he was still beatable. Numbness could play a role in this, but I would say it's not like the key factor, or like he's just numb to all pain. Now, the next thing, there could be a potential ceiling of all damage. This could actually be a component of the mythical dragon fruit, or if he's let's say an Oni, who the hell knows? But this is something that I remember happening in Toriko, where in Toriko, knocking Master Jiro could actually seal all the damage he took, or he could store it somewhere in his body without having any adverse effects on his own body. So there could be a thing here with Kaido, where Kaido, that damage is somehow diverted via some kind of technique, or it is stored somehow, some way in his body where it's there, but it causes really no adverse effects on his body. Now, that'd be very skillful on his part, but that's hard to believe too. That really is hard to believe. But wait! Quick addendum to this video, and shout out to Skard, S-K-A-R-D on Twitch, for reminding me about this one. There is a chance, a good chance, well maybe not a good chance, but there's a possibility that Big Mom has played a role in why Kaido is immortal. Now, we do know that Big Mom says that Kaido owes her a debt, and a lot of folks want to troll, I would argue troll, and say that, well, that's because she had triplets because of Kaido. Katakuri, I'm not going to entertain that. No, hell no. I'm talking about, there's a possibility that, let's say that Kaido does take genuine damage. Okay, that's possible. But what if the reason why he was never really phased is because his HP bar is just so goddamn high? Meaning that he has like 50, 60 sections of his HP bar. And even though you can do damage to him, it is almost like a drop in a bucket compared to the actual HP pool that he has. So let's say Big Mom gave Kaido an overabundance of life force, by accident or on purpose, who the hell knows. He still ages, because Big Mom still ages too, but she can control life force. This could be the reason why he is somewhat virtually immortal, as close to immortal as Oda is willing to go when it comes to a, let's say, Yonka. There's more! And then finally, so far, one of the biggest things would be, of course, the possibility that someone with the Opi no Mi fruit in the past made Kaido immortal, which is why Law would be the prime reason to why that'll go away. Because with his abilities, if you can make someone immortal with the Opi fruit, then you could probably undo that as well with the same ability. This is based on the 7-year window that exists from the Oden flashback to the Law flashback. Because Law ate the Opi no Mi 13 years ago in the Law flashback. And Kaido got cut by Oden 20 years ago from current time. So there's a 7-year window where we don't know what was going down with the Opubi no Mi. And we do know that it is a highly valued fruit. So maybe someone made Kaido immortal / unkillable with the powers of the Opubi no Mi. And that is it. There are a lot of takes on this one, but I still do genuinely believe that in some respects, Kaido is immortal / invincible. The real time in the lore, I think, does allude to that very, very strongly. And I still believe that Law is the major player when it comes to taking down Kaido. But let me know your stance. Let me know your stance and your take on the subject matter at hand. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zmouse. You use Zmouse to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to the squad. And of course, as always, feel free to please do comment. And again, let me know your stance. Let me know your take on Kaido, Immortality, Invincibility. Again, I'm pretty sure that they're going to lose second time round when it comes to the allies against Kaido and Big Mom. And Kaido just being unkillable, he is different than Big Mom, where Big Mom, she even states, like, you know, hey, Luffy, you can't beat Kaido. It is what it is. Once again, let me know your stance on the matter at hand. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day.